Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. I thought I would show you really quick how I organize my tube watercolors because I had a few people ask about this, and I had recently this weekend just reorganized my tube colors so I could get some sets I had out of boxes and everything together. So what I do is I take these drawers. These go in the you know, the 6-drawer Sterilite and Iris drawer units you can get at like a Staples, any home, like not home improvement store, but like any department store this time of year when, you know, kids are going back to school. You can usually find these on sale. You can get them at Staples, you can get them at like Walmart, Target, that sort of place, and they're very affordable. Generally they're under $30. Sometimes you can get them for like around $15 for a set of 6 shallow drawers. And I really love these shallow drawers in the craft room because you don't lose things. You've got just like a, you know, this is probably about 4 inches deep. You're not going to be digging around in a really deep bin. I do have some of the deeper bins. I'll show you what the deeper bins look like. Just when I got one like this one right here. They've got these deeper bins as well. And you can get there's sets of drawers that have the deep and the shallow ones combined, but I find the shallow ones more useful. Obviously, if you've got like a lot of paints like this, oh, that's got a dust bunny in there. You know, taller bottles, you'd want the deeper ones. But for watercolor tubes, small things like that, I recommend shallow drawers. And then what I recommend are these little shallow baskets. These you can get 3 for $1 at the Dollar Tree, and you can fit 5 of them in one of these shallow drawers. So I originally had 2 of these drawers. I didn't have that many bins. I will generally first go and, you know, cut down boxes, see what I have before I will go and buy anything. So keep that in mind. You don't have to go buy these shallow boxes. If you eat cereal, you could, you know, make them out of cereal boxes, whatever. So the way I have organized is I've done kind of a split primary organizing. So I have my cool reds in one bin, my warm reds in another. Then I also did one for oranges because I do have some kind of more orange pigments. Then in this thing, I tried to break them up so that I would have like, I wouldn't be having half of one color in one bin and half of another color in another bin. So I decided to do this as my reds and my browns, since browns are kind of like desaturated oranges, and I've got my oranges here. So these would be my reddish browns. So I've got like Potter's Pink and Pearland Maroon and Indian Red, Venetian Red, those colors in here. Then I've got my cooler browns, like my Burnt Umbers and Van Dyke Brown and Raw Umbers, that sort of thing there. So I know warm colors, your reds, oranges, browns are in here. So then the next one here I have has my, and here I didn't have any more of those baskets, and I was going to go buy some, but then I was like, well, first I'm just going to see what I have, and if I can't find something that works, then I'll go buy some. So I've got my cool yellows, I've got my warm yellows, and then I've got my earth yellows. So this would be like your lemon yellows, Hansa yellow, yellow light, etc. This would be like gamboge, Indian yellow, cadmium yellow deep, all of those. And then here would be like, you know, your Naples yellow, your raw sienna, yellow ochre, those types of colors. And that way I can pretty quickly put my hands on the color I need. Now over here, I actually took one of those, a jewelry box, you know, it's got a lid and a bottom, kind of like what a bracelet would come in. And I put all my pans and magnets and stuff for like when I make my own little DIY mini palettes and stuff. Those are there in the bottom. And then I just made myself a little like false side and pick up thing with duct tape. I know, wicked fancy. And I can put that right on top. So these are my iridescent watercolors that are in tubes. To be honest, I don't really like the iridescent watercolors in tubes as much as the pans. So these are Turner ones. And I got these before I got the Paul Rubens pan metallic watercolors, which I think are really the best bang for your buck, but still these will be handy. If I want to use wet paint out of the tube, I can just grab these. And then along this side, what I did was I just kind of used the back end of these parts bins. Now these I thought would be a great storage solution in the past, and they never were quite right. I never really had something that fit these very well. They stacked up, but it just wasn't a good storage solution. I think these are probably best for what they're made for, which is like part storage, like in a shop. But putting them so the open end is against the edge of this drawer, and then having the flat edge in the back, it gave me another compartment where I can put all of my greens. Now I might go in the future and divide this up a little bit more, but for now all my greens are together. I even have like an extra full, you know, pan. I don't have too many purchased pans. I usually make my own pans, but if I do have a set or I do find a good sale, I would just put them in with the colors that they're most closely to. So I might divide those up a little bit more with like yellow greens, neutral greens, and cool greens, but for right now, I think that's fine. I can certainly find the color I need in a couple of seconds. And then this one here has my violets. And like, so you can also alter your storage. Like if I had a lot of magentas and I didn't have room in my in like my cool red bin, I could put my magentas in here, you know what I mean? But I decided just to have my purples. Then we've got our warm blues like ultramarine, cobalt, that sort of thing. Then I got my cool blues, like, you know, your turquoises and ceruleans and phthalos and Prussian and whatnot. And then, and this is just a tray that came with some supplies from Royal Landical once. It was like a mixed media art kit. I just saved the tray and I'm using that in here because it's a nice thick plastic. So I've got my whites and I've got my blacks and grays. Those are all, I don't think I've purchased many whites. I don't think I've purchased any white watercolors that, like on their own. I think they've all come as part of sets that I've bought. And then the blacks and grays, generally, I'd probably purchased maybe a tube of Payne's Gray on purpose. The other ones just kind of come with other sets, and it's a good enough deal for the other colors. I don't mind if there's a black or gray, but sometimes they come in handy. So they are all right there. And yeah, use what you have whenever you're just dividing up drawers. Makes a huge difference in the supplies. You being able to sort your supplies out, you know, intentionally and practically, and also for retrieval. It's going to be so much easier for you to retrieve the color that you want if you have it sorted like this. And the other benefit is that since I work with a split primary mixing system, if I know I need a cool green, a cool blue, I'm going to go with the cool blues. I don't have to shuffle through all my blues. So if you're someone who's had a hard time seeing the undertones of colors, this might be a good exercise for you to store it this way. So then it forces you to think about what's the undertone of that color. Because if it's a cool undertone, I'll go to the cool bin. If it's a warm undertone, I'll go to the warm bin. So, but that might help you. I figure when I'm, you might be thinking, why do you have so much paint, Lindsay? This is insane. Yes, it is. It is a little insane, but I do teach, and I've been painting in watercolor since I was 7, so it's not like this is just like overnight. And when you buy a tube of watercolor, you don't use it all up. You usually put it in a palette, let it dry out, and then you come back to it. I use a little tube crimper so I can get every last bit out of my paints. But my rule of thumb is for hanging on to stuff, I ask myself, will I use it? And if the answer is yes, then I say, how long will it keep? Now, watercolors will keep indefinitely. So even if they harden up in the tube, I can peel the tube off and I can plop it into a palette. So I will use it and it will keep forever. So, so that's why I have this many and I've kept them, because there's no point in getting rid of something that you will have to go out and rebuy, as long as it's not going to go bad before you need to go rebuy it. So there you have it. I hope you found this useful. Again, if you have to go buy something, I think these are the best just because the walls are so high on these baskets. So in a perfect world, they'd probably all be in these bins. But I also don't like to just go buy extra storage stuff if I have something that will work. So if you don't have anything that will work, I highly recommend these 3 for $1 bins. I know they have them in white. I didn't get these at Dollar Tree. These came from Martin's, but I've bought the white ones at Dollar Tree before. And they're actually a little bit nicer quality than these. So yeah, shallow drawers. They work great. Highly recommend them. Now they're not, you know, they don't look as pretty as the IKEA ones that a lot of people use. But I do think these bins would probably fit in the IKEA drawers if that's what you have. So yeah, measure before you go to the store, figure out what you have, purge first. If you do need to purge things, if you don't, then still sort and figure out what you need before you go buy anything. That way you won't be buying the wrong thing or overbuying stuff you don't need. So there you have it, how I store my tube watercolors. I hope you found it useful. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.